And maybe today, and the cool thing about these calls also is they give us an opportunity to kind of like get together and talk about what we're building, because we're all working on similar things. So I definitely encourage people to ask questions throughout the presentation and make it as conversational as you want. And maybe we can just go down the line and do quick intros. So you can get familiar with kind of who's on the call. And I can start. My name is Emily, and I work at Level K, and we're working on a lot of on-chain governance solutions. So we've done some work with TCRs, but right now we're focused on prediction markets and Futarchy, and we're building some we're building a Futarchy app on Aragon to make decisions via prediction markets. And I'm just going to go down the line. If you don't want to introduce yourself, you could just, I don't know, say your name or whatever. But the next person down is Aquia. I don't know if you want to do a quick intro.
Hi, everybody. My name's Aquia. I used to work on AdChain, but I'm no longer directly involved with TCRs, although I may be working on something kind of related in the future. Currently, I'm working on a project called Panvala, which is a platform for helping to fund the basically Ethereum public goods. You can think of it that way.
Awesome. Does Panvala have the bounties program? Is that the one, John, that we have like Level K bounties on? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Yeah, the next person on the list is Dan Kinsley. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Dan. I'm working on Civil. We're trying to find new business models for ethical journalism. So we have a TCR of publications that we launched a couple months ago. So now we're just starting to build new monetization tools for publications.
Thanks. Hunter is also on the call. I haven't heard from Hunter in a while. Sorry, I don't usually call out people and make them introduce themselves, but today we're a small group, so. I don't think he hears me though, so I'll move on to Jed.
Oh, hey, yeah, sorry. Hey, how's it going? I had to click the unmute button.
Yeah.
Good to see everyone. Hunter from MetaX. We co-built the AdChain registry with Consensus. Aquia, good to see you on the call as well. Also sitting here in the conference room with 5 other members of our team. So it's not exactly as light as it looks on the list. We got solid 14 participants now, or 15 or so.
Awesome.
Looking forward to the rest of the call.
Nice. Jed? I haven't seen you on the call before.
Hey guys, yeah, just John just told me about it, so I figured I'd jump in here. This is Jed, previously working at Circle. My job basically was to look at assets, listing them plugins, and a big fan of some TCR projects, and also some
Awesome, thanks, Jed. Jeff Emmett joined.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm interested in TCRs. We're working with something similar in the Commons stack. We're experimenting with alternative ways to get around some of the friction points of TCRs and time-based voting in general. So we're experimenting with a couple novel ideas, and more articles and information coming out about those components soon.
At Commons Stack. John, my coworker.
Hey, I'm John. I work with Emily at Level K. We're doing a lot of work with Futarchy right now. Really trying to understand LBSR a little better, logarithmic market, something. And we're also looking at the DX DAO lately, which is pretty cool. And I just had the thought last night that the Dutch exchange is probably going to need a TCR at some point. So.
Nice. Cuba is on the call. I don't know if I'm saying your name right.
Yeah, it was a pretty good try. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Emily. Yes, I work for a company called Alice, and we've been playing with TCRs for a while. We did a simulation to see when it works, when it doesn't, and probably pretty soon we'll be implementing our own set of innovations. So it's always good to see what other people are working on.
Awesome, thanks. And we got Larry.
Hey, I'm Larry. I'm mainly here just to learn. I have a healthcare background and sort of a crypto enthusiast, and just learning as much as I can.
Awesome, thanks. And Paul is on the call.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm a speaker here today. So I'm Paul from Band Protocol, and I work mostly on the product side and doing the design and basically making sure that whatever we build gets to, we build awesome product to user. Yeah.
And Raphael.
Yeah, sorry, I work with Kuba.
Oh, great, awesome. And then another name I don't know how to pronounce, maybe Sorawit. I think you all are also with Band Protocol.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'm Sorawit. I'm also from Band Protocol. So yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I guess I don't know if you guys want to introduce Band Protocol and kind of like the vision of the company, and then what you guys have been working on with TCRs.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Emily, for the introduction, really. And all those will be on the slide. So let me get into it. Let me share the screen real quick. Can you guys see my screen?
I can, yes.
Yes.
All right, that's cool. So let me switch to the slide. You should be able to see the slide right now, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. That's good. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for having me today. So I've been following your call for quite a few times now. So just want to mention it again. I'm here with my colleague Sweet, who some of you might already know from a call from a talk that he gave about encoding the equation on Solidity a few weeks back. So as sort of a warning for you guys, the English is not my native language. So if I start talking too fast or you start to, don't understand what I'm saying, please do pause me and I'll try my best to correct it. So in this call, I'll be talking about CoinHatcher, right? It's a decentralized portal for crypto insight, and we curate those information using TCR. So before we get into the content, let me first walk you through the items that I'll be presenting tonight. So first, I'll give the sort of short introduction on myself and my company Band Protocol and what we do. Then I'll give you intro into CoinHatcher and then how we incorporate TCR into our product. Then we'll go through the problems that we encounter when we implement the TCR. And then the sort of solutions that we decide to go with, which sort of address mostly three things. First, the economic incentive of TCR, specifically why the standard TCR would not fit for our use case. Then the second thing is the token economics and distribution of our DApp. And last but not least is the UX of the Ethereum DApp. All right, and then I'll do the demo and wrapping up, and hopefully we get some time to take a few questions. So in this presentation, I'll be assuming that you are all familiar with TCR. So this will be pretty technical in terms of talking about the mechanism and techniques that we use, but we will not get much into any coding here. All right. So just a bit of self-introduction again. My name is Paul. I'm a Chief Product Officer at Band Protocol, and I'm responsible mostly for product design and making sure that we ship awesome things to the users. And I got in crypto back in 2013, and I started making crypto games since then. So until I teamed up with the other two co-founders and found Band Protocol a couple of years back. So my background is mostly in computer science, and I was briefly in a competitive programming scene, but now I mostly involved in front end and crypto. So since CoinHatcher is pretty much an application built on top of Band Protocol, so I would like to give you guys a brief introduction into what it is. So Band Protocol is an open standard for decentralized management of data in Web3 stack. And what it means is that Band Protocol curates information using crypto economic incentive and make it available on-chain, ready to be consumed by decentralized application. So just as you can see in the diagram, we provide mainly two mechanisms to curate information. First is the TCR, or Token Curated Registry, and the second we call the TCD. So when the DApp want to use information that Band Protocol curate, for example, the crypto price feed or identity whitelist, it can get those information through a universal interface we call query interface. And the app has to pay a bit of fee to make the crypto economics work. So I'm not going much into the detail here. So if you are interested in how Band Protocol works, I would highly recommend you to go to the link, which I'll send you after we go through other slides. Okay, so here comes the sort of the star of the show now. So what is CoinHatcher, right? With the Band Protocol infrastructure that we have, we want to build a DApp that not only utilizes the power of Band Protocol, but it has to be used on a daily basis. So like as a hardcore fan of crypto, we found that we spend so much time reading news and trying to keep up with what's going on in the space. And to be honest, we just want to spend time on news that's worth reading. That's sort of the motivation of how CoinHatcher comes to exist. So I would like to introduce you guys to CoinHatcher Insights, a decentralized crypto news that take you 5 minutes of time to read daily. So here on the screen is the example of a short summarized news that you find in CoinHatcher. So basically, you get 5 to 10 of these daily as a reader. And the question is how we create this insight, right? The answer, is TCR. So the TCR that we use, so we're using a sort of based on standard TCR model that we all know and love. So here we have Bob. Say he's a news publisher. Bob makes money from people reading his news and following his social accounts, Instagram and stuff. Bob applies his insight to the pending pool, which we have Alice, who's the token holder, that's sort of monitoring those pending pool, right? And then after a few hours, if nobody or if Alice doesn't challenge the insight, then it gets listed, and then the general audience would then see those insight as a credible insight. So this is a TCR, right? Sounds simple and like the economic of it make it sound like it should work, right? Not really. So as we implemented it, we found quite a few problems which we want to address in this presentation. So as we mentioned before, there's problem with economic incentive. There's a problem with token economic and distributions, and we have huge problem with the UX. So I'll just go one by one. All right. First, it turns out that the economic of TCR doesn't work without our particular use case. Because TCR relies on the data owner to stake tokens, it is necessary that whatever the data owner received from being in the TCR must be valued more than the stake token itself. So for the ephemeral information such as news, the more recent it is, the more value it presents to the readers. So say news today should be worth much more than a news from 3 months ago, right? Then why should the insight owner stake the same amount of token for both? So to solve this problem, we introduced the TCR with depreciative stake model, which basically calculates the min deposit as a decreasing function over time. So say when you first posting an insight, you have to stake 1,000 tokens. And the model in this picture shows that after 2 days, the amount of stake decreased to 800 tokens. That means you can withdraw 200 tokens of the stake after 2 days, and any challenge would then require only 800 token as well. And the result of the challenge would be calculated based on the sort of fact that the min deposit now equals to 800 tokens. So I have written a Medium article about this, which I'll then send you the link after the slide as well. Next is the community incentive. So this problem is, how do we make sure that the community member get properly motivated to curate good insight on CoinHatcher? Beside from the fact that they get small reward from the TCR, right? So we honestly think that at sort of equilibrium state, there's not going to be a lot of challenges in the TCR. So we need sort of other ways to properly motivate people, right? So we are a huge fan of curation market and bonding curve because of its instant liquidity. It always has collateral to back up the value. And it does certainly motivate early adopters to aggressively promote the community. So we build CoinHatcher token with the bonding curve, and we collateralize it with the band token. So the picture you are seeing here is sort of a sneak peek of the token portal, which I'll show you in the demo.
Does the bonding curve motivate anyone to interact with the TCR at all, or is that kind of separate?
I think it's kind of separate. Yep, then the next one is token distribution. So when we go mainnet, the distribution strategy is pretty clear. Our team would be holding a small reserve amount, and then the rest would be sold through the bonding curve, right? But in the testnet, when we really cannot sell the token because it would be meaningless to sell both token via bonding curve where the collateral can be mint, right? So we use gamification to distribute token to the community members, and that means anyone can come in and register, get daily reward, get reward from subscribing to our newsletter, participate in the TCR. Everything should work as though we are in the mainnet, except they cannot transfer token to other people. And that's because we will convert those token into the mainnet token once they do the KYC afterward. Okay, so are you guys bored yet? Or are those problems are sort of very specific to the CoinHatcher, right? So here comes sort of more interesting part, and the thing it should be the thing that's more generalized for general dApps, right? So first we want to address the wallet. So the user have no intention whatsoever to install an extension or download any mobile wallet apps. And they don't want to store or even worse, restore their account using mnemonics. Well, from the user that we have been talking to, this is a simple email password authentication, right? And to make it clear, this is like the number one barrier that prevent people from using the dApp that we found. So we have built an in-browser wallet that works as a drop-in replacement from MetaMask, and we call it Band Wallet.
Is it possible, because I know that I have, like, I was using the app a little bit and I have money in my Band wallet. Once it's liquid, is it easy to send this to like your MetaMask wallet? Can people, like, you know, do they have the keys, or, you know, can they move their funds from your in-browser wallet that you've built?
Yes, it works exactly like MetaMask. Okay. And actually the motivation that we got was from a MetaMask itself. They were doing the thing called Mascara, which is an in-browser version of MetaMask, but they stopped developing it a few months back. So yep. And the mnemonic that we generate in the in-browser wallet is compatible, like 100% compatible with MetaMask. Okay, cool. So so here's how MetaMask works, right? The dApp talks to MetaMask via Web3 provider that MetaMask inject into Windows scope of the dApp. Then the MetaMask handle the communication with the Ethereum node, right? Now let's look at Band Wallet. The dApp talks to Band Wallet via Web3 interface in exactly the same way as MetaMask. The only difference is that instead of having a browser extension handling all the transaction, Band Wallet used the code that's hosted on wallet.bandprotocol.com, and then we inject the iframe of the wallet right into the dApp. So as a result, we can create a wallet that operates in completely isolated environment from the dApp, but still give the user experience that mimics one of being in the same app. So here's the detail of how the wallet works, but I don't want to bore you guys with the technical detail. But if you are interested, I highly suggest you go through this. The key takeaway is that the wallet supports logging in with email and password, and the authentication server only store an encrypted version of private key. So the private key is not in our custody. There's also a ton of UX optimization I cannot mention here because we have quite a limited time, but you'll be able to see some in the demo.
I have a quick question. What if a user gets a password if you do not keep a custody of the private keys?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
Okay, let's imagine that I've forgotten my password. And as you mentioned, the keys are encrypted. So does it mean that that I lost access to all of my funds?
That's correct. That's why we encourage the user to store their mnemonic as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way you can use
yeah.
the money to restore the wallet.
Okay, so there is no other option for password recovery than the mnemonic?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Another thing that we are exploring is we try to do something similar to Genesis, where they use like a multi-sig wallet as a user wallet. So if you do that, then we can kind of like change the private key of the or the public key of the key that is authorized to send transactions. So that's something that we are exploring as well.
It seems like it's the same architecture as Portis. Are you familiar with that? And are there any main differences you would call out?
Yep. We have used that before, and actually we have tried that before going out our way into building our own wallet. But one thing that we don't really like about Portis is that it relies so much into the fact that you have the phone with you, and like every single transaction, I think for Portis, you need to authorize it using the OTP that's being sent to the phone, right?
I think that may have changed. I think right now it's just a username and password.
I think that's Fortmatic.
Or email.
Portis is another one, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure in the detail. Yeah. I'll definitely look into it after the call.
And this is kind of just like LastPass, where you like use the password to derive your sort of secret store that you store locally, and then you can just log in on any device with the same password.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Yeah, we can discuss that later. And the next problem is the fee. So yeah, one common thing that we found is that why do I even need it to use this app? And nobody, generally don't want to hold an it ever, right? The immediate solution that we take is pretty blunt. Is that we pay the user with limited daily amount of transaction, and we pay the fee for them entirely. So that's sort of short-term solution for now. But in the long-term solution, we will let the user pay with CoinHatcher token. So that will be sort of converted to the ETH on the fly, and then goes back to us, and then fund the transaction fee. Next, the commit review scheme, and I feel like this thing a lot of people is having problem with, because it sort of hinder the user experience so much. So in any DApp that requires voting, we'd want to employ commit review scheme to make sure that the voting decision is not influenced by the amount of votes on one side. So for those who are, for those who aren't familiar, let me give you an example. So if Alice is challenging Bob, say, and Alice is on the winning side, so anyone knows, if anyone knows this information, they would bet that Alice would win and will vote on Alice's side. So this phenomenon shifts sort of the shelling point of the vote. So instead of voting on the side that the thing is correct, people will vote on the side that they know would win, because especially with the TCR, the winning side gets the reward, right? So the commit review scheme is done in two steps to prevent this. So first, the voter would pick a salt and commit a hash of combining the choice with the salt to the chain. And then after the first phase, so after the first phase is done for all the voters, each voter would then review their result, and the smart contract will begin tallying the vote. So now in terms of user experience, we have two prominent problems. So first, users don't want to remember the result. And also users don't want to come back to the app and then review votes. So here's how we deal with it. So when the user votes, we generate a result by signing with the challenging ID. So the result that we create is deterministic. So as long as the user is using the same wallet, they get the same result. Then we generate the hash of user choice and then send it to the blockchain. And after that, CoinHatcher will schedule with the band bodyguard, which is our very centralized server, and then we review the result for the user. So this model is not the most ideal, and the user has to put a lot of trust in us. However, like band protocol has no incentive whatsoever to sabotage our own community, and we are doing our best to sort of keep guard all the result that we collect and review for the users. So the last problem we want to address here is also a very interesting one. So in TCR, we do expect that there can be multiple votes at the same time, right? And the voting power for each user has to sort of be equal to the number of token the user hold. And we don't want user to reuse those tokens and vote twice on one same token, right? So typically this will be implemented with what we call PLCR, or partial lock commit review, which locks up users' token before they'll be able to vote. This can cause quite a bit of confusion for users. So users just, from what we talk about, from the user we talk to, users just want to take a hold of custody of their own tokens all the time. So this is sort of a deal breaker for us. And our CTO has come up with the technique that we call token snapshot, which we later find out that is identical to MiniMe token, pioneered by Gilworth and also used by Aragon as well. So it essentially allows the smart contract to get the number of token that a user is holding at any particular block and use that as a voting power. So again, I won't go much into the detail here. So at the end, we have a voting solution that doesn't require token lockup, but it is more expensive to do the token transfer because of the structure that we use to store the number of tokens. Yeah, that's all the slide that I have. All the theoretical part is over. So hopefully none of you has fallen asleep yet. All right. Next, we'll jump into the more sort of fun and practical part, which is the live demo of CoinHatcher. All right. So here's the first screen. So first thing I would do is to go to coinhatcher.com, which I already did. Okay. So I would pretend to be like a new user as I walk you through. So the first thing that user see is the onboard. So this onboarding process help explain what CoinHatcher is and what is the role of different party involved in doing the curation of the insight. So I'm just gonna quickly go through. We have the reader who gets to come and consume high quality insight in crypto space. We have the publisher who have the platform to showcase their content. We have a curator who gets rewarded from curating good content, right? So then user can follow a quick walkthrough for each role. So let's assume we are publisher. And they get to see how to propose the insight with some mock data in there and some sort of instructions that allows him to get a hang of what's going on. I'm not going to spend too much time on this part because we are going to go through this in the demo anyways. So let's go to the main page of CoinHatcher here, which is what we call an insight page, right? So now we have arrived at the main insight page. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to explore a little bit, right? So at the top, we are looking at the nav bar with the sign in button, just like any regular traditional web app. And below, we have our insights and separated into different categories. These are for TCR. We have listed, proposed, reported, and rejected. So as a reader, at this stage, we are perfectly happy, right? We get to read all the content. But what if we want to post the insight for ourselves? So I would click the proposed insight, but then the wallet would show up because first we need to register an account and actually get the wallet, right? So I'm going to just create one, right? So the flow is pretty similar to a regular app. So I'm just going to put in the email. And then it asks me to verify that I actually have that email. So let me quickly go through. Okay. Now, excuse me, the code here, I'm just gonna copy and paste and hit the create button. So now I have my wallet set up. So initially, you wouldn't have any token at all, but as a new user, we'll give you like 10 CoinHatcher tokens. So here I can personalize a bit with my name and a photo. So next, we highly recommend the user to store their recovery phrase. So they need to copy down these 12 words, right? But we do provide the copy button for the user for the sake of convenience. All right, now we have the wallet. So then what can I do next? Let's explore further. So as a new user, I will see this, congratulations, you have received 10 CoinHatcher from login activity. This banner will show up daily so that the user can come and claim tokens every day. So I'll go to that and claim my token.
Is this for like a limited time, or do people just keep being able to claim 10 CoinHatcher token?
Yeah, this will last until testnet is over.
Okay.
So in the next few weeks. Yep.
Are these layer one transactions? So you're paying, I assume you're paying, or who's paying the gas for that, I guess?
We are paying for the gas.
I'm guessing you have plans to sort of do something like, meta transactions, like you said, so they'll be able to pay with CoinHatcher token.
Yeah. Yes, that will be coming up in the next few weeks. Yep. So what's happening here is that the reward server generates the transaction, and it sends that transaction to the user. So the transaction is on-chain Ethereum transaction, which shows up on the bottom right here. So if we click the expand button here, we can see the transaction on Rinkeby, right? And this is from our wallet, our reward wallet, to my newly created wallet, and it sent 10 CoinHatcher token. Yeah, so here we have reward for multiple things, and user can come and claim. We have subscribe to newsletter, add things to portfolio, and join our Telegram, right? It would take a while for a user to accumulate enough to propose a new insight. So I'm just gonna switch to a well account right now, because in order to give you a walkthrough for proposing an insight, we need more tokens. So I'm just gonna hit the sign out. And then sign in with my other account here. All right, we have plenty of token now. So I'm going to propose an insight. Let's say, I'm new to this site, so this is what I want to see. And let's say I'm putting random source into here just to demonstrate what would happen if people happen to throw with this, right? So so anyone can propose an insight, but of course they need to stake tokens. In this case, they will need to stake 100 CoinHatcher token first. So I hit submit, and it will ask if you are sure, because you have the chance of losing those tokens. So what happens here is that in exactly the same manner as MetaMask, you need to confirm the transaction. But right here, we do automatically approve the transaction if it passed 10 seconds to improve the user experience a little bit. And you still have the choice to decline the transaction as well. So, so right now, the transaction gets one confirmation. So if we go to the Propose tab, it should show up within the next few seconds.
Is there only a limited number of insights that can be on the list, on the registry?
Currently, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And does the proposer get any sort of reward for proposing? I know that they have to stake tokens to get an insight on there, or they just kind of do it because they're interested and kind of a hobbyist and like to help contribute.
Yeah, currently no. One thing, and this is one of sort of limitation of TCR as well. In TCR, like the proposer has to sort of have incentive already to propose data and be willing to stake tokens. We will be experimenting with sort of ads model. So if we run advertisement on this website, then we can use the revenue from those ads and then distribute those back to people who proposed insight to this website. Yep. So now we have the proposed insight, which will be moved to the listed list in 6 hours. But this thing is pretty much the fake news, right? So I'll play the role of Alice. So Alice is a token holder. She already have invested her token in her token. So when she sees this, she would want to report, which is basically another word for challenge. So I have Alice in another window here. So for Alice, if she goes to the Propose tab, excuse me, I need to refresh it. Typically it would work, but sometimes the WinKB network play tricks on us. So all right. So as Alice, I would want to report this insight. So let's just hit the report. And this one, I'll give the reason of, fake news. And incomplete information, right? And I need to stake 100 CoinHatcher token to report on this insight. So same deal. We need to approve the transaction, and after a few seconds, this insight should be moved to the reported tab. So in CoinHatcher, we are pretty optimistic about when to show the information. So after a couple of block confirmation, we do show, we do include that information on the site right away. And that just improve user experience because nobody wants to wait for 8 block confirmation for things to show up. So here we have the typical voting for the TCR, and here I will need to vote for the reject insight again, and it will prompt me twice. The first time would be the salt generation, right? And the second time would be sending the commit transaction to the chain. Yep. So this is sort of the flow of how TCR would work with CoinHatcher, and the other things I want to show you is what it will look like when you propose and challenge a lot of things. It will show up in under my activities. All right. So first you see all my applications, right? So some were rejected already, and some remain listed. And as we use the depreciative state models here, I can actually withdraw most of the deposit that I made. So let's look at this SCB crypto exchange listing. I can hit the withdraw, and I can withdraw up to 90 CoinHatcher token because it's modeled to be depreciated this way. In this case, I'm going to withdraw 80 tokens here. And what this does is that it would take out the stake, and I can use that. I can use those tokens however I like, right? And as it turns out, the current stake would be reduced to 20 tokens, and the rest would go into the balance that I have. Under my report, I get to see all the report that I issue against other insights and see the net gains, right? And for my votes, we can see the sort of the result of the vote and the reward that I get, which is automatically transferred to my account. So this is it for CoinHatcher, right? So I think we have a few minutes to spare, right? I really want to show you guys the governance portal that we built for the band protocol, and it's relevant to the CoinHatcher as well. So if you go to app.bandprotocol.com, we will see all the data set that's available in band protocol. So if we go to CoinHatcher, under the overview tab, we'll see sort of the landscape of what's going on with CoinHatcher. We have a few bit of information on what the website of CoinHatcher is, the organization, the contract address, right? And we have the price movement of the bonding curve that we issue for CoinHatcher. So here we can. This is in testnet right now.
Okay.
So all this is in Ringgit. Yep. So you can sell token here. So let's say you sell 100 CoinHatcher token, and you get 13.61 band with some price rebate, and it would work just like in CoinHatcher. So I haven't actually refreshed it for a while. I might be disconnected from the server. Okay. So here we have the market cap, token supply, and actually the overview of the activities in our TCR, right? So it shows that we have almost 200 total entries. Most of them are listed. 2 is being challenged, and the rest are being rejected. And this portal not only shows the information, it also allows us to do the governance as well. So if we go to the parameters tab and then go to TCR, we can propose the change to change all the parameters that being used in CoinHatcher.com right now, and those will appear in Proposal tab, and anyone who have CoinHatcher token can come in and vote for the proposal to pass or not. So yeah, these are all the demo that I have prepared. Just a quick recap before I end this presentation. So we have already launched our mainnet, right? Everything you saw was live on Rinkaby, and we can expect a mainnet in Q3 this year. Right? So in terms of features, we have planned to add a ton of things to CoinHatcher, and as well as the band wallet. We want to build an identity layer on band wallet and want to really generalize the wallet beyond band protocol.
Yeah, thank you so much for the demo. I think like I saw your other DApp that you guys presented on bonding curves, and I think like one of the things you guys are doing really, really well is like UX. So really good job on the front ends and stuff. We're a little over. Yes. We're a little over, and I just wanted to ask anyone if they had any questions before we got off. I know we started 5 minutes late anyway. Yeah, go, Hunter.
Oh, this is Hunter. Great presentation. Very impressive. You guys obviously did a ton of work on this and put a lot of thought into it. I echo what Emily said in regards to the UX. It looks great. One question I have is, and maybe I missed this, if as somebody who is applying a piece of news content to the website, what is my incentive? What can I get out of it if I apply a piece of news to the TCR? Is there a reward mechanism in place for the amount of times it's read or shared or upvoted or something along those lines that I just didn't see in there?
Yeah, currently there is not, because one of the assumptions that we make is that the sort of the author of the proposal should already have incentive for people who read the news. So if you are presenting a good piece of information, people should want to follow the link, and then you would get the advertisement revenue from through those channels. But right now it's only that, right? But in the future we will be experimenting with sort of the ad revenue model, which will be sort of distributed back to the proposers.
I see. So it will link out to a third-party publication. I thought it was all going to be housed inside of the your application. That's where they would consume the news. So I misunderstood that.
Oh yeah, yeah, maybe it wasn't clear.
Yeah. Either way, I would love to see people experimenting with ways to reward contributors to TCRs because that put an item up, because I think right now it's just if people are incentivized to put that item up because they're promoting their own thing. But I think that there's a lot of this could be improved so much if there's just other incentives to people get paid for posting things in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, totally agree.
Ad revenue is cool, and that's something that I feel like is like how the world works today. But I'm also interested to see if people come up with other things in the future. I have a small question. I know we're going a little over, we started a little late, but we can do my question, maybe one other. Right now, it's really easy when you make an account, you get 10 CoinHatcher. In the future, I'm guessing you're not going to be just rewarding people, and I'm sure you'd be afraid of Sybil attacks with people just making tons of accounts. So is the user eventually going to need to buy CoinHatcher when they make an account? And then that also kind of makes it more difficult for onboarding, because then they need to acquire some sort of ERC20 to then buy your CoinHatcher. So I don't know if you guys were thinking about that.
Yep. So we really see this thing launch into sort of separate into two phases. So first, in the first phase, it would be us who sort of incentivizing people to come and contribute to CoinHatcher and use CoinHatcher, right? And we will have initial amount of funding to do that, but then afterward, we are relying on the fact that we are using bonding curve and the TCR mechanics that will help drive the value of the tokens. So if this thing really kicks off, then the value, like the token economy, should work itself out.
Cool, thanks. Maybe one more question if someone has one. If not, we're already going over, so that's fine. Put like a 5-second awkward pause and see if anyone speaks up. All right, going once, going twice. Okay, I guess that's all the questions. Thanks again, guys, for coming on. I love how you guys are making your apps, the UX and the UI. It's so intuitive and it's just really cool.
Yeah, really great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
And I look forward to see how you guys kind of maybe transition from centralized models of like your salt creation and see, how you guys kind of evolve in the future. But really great. Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you guys next month. Foam has been kind of telling me that they have some new stuff to present in the past few calls. Maybe I'll reach out to Foam and see if we can check back in with their project for next month. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Thanks everyone.
Okay, thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.